Were there any amazing scenes or moments that got cut out from that film?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it was 2 years of my life. It's like there's so much. But
anything that you wish had gotten in there?
No. I mean, I would say that the movie far exceeded any hopes or dreams I had for it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's so amazing. Crazy. I got to watch it on IMAX, and you're like, dude, it's a movie about me sending the route that I'm most proud of in my life, probably on IMAX. You're like, that's cool. Sick. It's insane. Yeah, like the footage of El Cap is insane. Yeah. It like looks amazing. Everything about it, you're like, this is so cool.
Yeah. I remember my favorite part of that whole film. I think you're driving into Yosemite, and it's like you monologuing about like the warrior spirit, the warrior spirit.
Yeah. That audio came from Morocco. Which there's a brief clip of the Morocco climbing in the film, but it wound up being mostly B-roll. And then actually Jimmy has this new TV show, and they used a lot of the Morocco footage as an episode for this new TV show. Like I think it's Edge of the Unknown. But anyway, that whole Morocco thing, Tommy and I did this hard link up, and then I soloed this wall. And so I was there for 3 weeks. But while I was there, I was watching this show called Spartacus, kind of like trashy, like violent, like nudity. You know, it's like gladiators fighting. And it's like 4 seasons of it or something. I think I watched like 4 seasons. Like we would just be sending all day, and then I watched Spartacus, and this dude's cutting each other apart, and then it's all kind of hardcore. But so I was like deeply into warrior, basically I was like, oh, this is so crazy, it's like blood sport. And then I was like, oh, soloing is like modern blood sport in a way, because like the whole entertainment factor, where they're making a Hollywood movie, and basically the central tension of the film is like, will he die? And you're like, this is modern blood sport. I was like, this is like modern gladiator stuff. Anyway, so I was like all rambling about that, and then it all freaking made it in the movie, and I was like, this is a little embarrassing, but like that's fine. But that's the problem, is that when someone's recording you for 2 years, you get all kinds of crazy shit.
Sure.
And then you never know how they're going to use it.
Yeah. Well, I like kind of got
well, that's the thing. A lot of people are really inspired by it, and like, that's so incredible. And I'm always a little like, oh, I'm a little embarrassed by it. But, I agree that if I was watching it, if I wasn't the one that said it, I'd be like, oh, this is so inspiring. Because like that's in the same way that I'm inspired watching Spartacus or whatever. Yeah. Like you can draw inspiration from anything if it's like strikes the right chord.
Right. I mean, it was specifically, it wasn't about like the warrior part of it necessarily. It was, I think, you saying, no one ever did anything epic while sitting like comfy on the couch.
Totally. Yeah, the commitment to excellence, like try hard, do hard things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife's always like, but do you need to, it's like why not be comfortable?
Has that changed for you?
Being more comfy?
Yeah, well, having like sent like the dream proj.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely less hungry and like angstful about it.
Yeah.
I have less to prove. But I would say I probably spend as many hours a week. No, that's probably not true. I probably spend a fewer hours each week working on my climbing as well. But part of that's just like having a kid and having a house and whatever. But no, I'd say I'm just as committed to climbing as ever. But I'm just a little less angstful about it. And like, yeah, it's hard to say.
Do you have a goal right now?
Yeah, well, hopefully I'm going to send the sport project tomorrow.
What are you trying?
This new thing somebody bolted. It's like a new crag. It's funny. My friend and I were just trying it, and we went back and forth on it, 3 burns each, and we each burn be like, okay, we're going to like link from the middle to the top. It's all good. I don't know, like the guy that bolted was like, maybe it's 13B. And then I tried and I was like, maybe it's 13C. And then we both got completely throttled, like a bunch of burns. And we're like, maybe it's 13D. And we're like, maybe it's, basically we're just getting freaking worked. And it's kind of a weird route where like the holds are pretty good, but for whatever reason, we just like can't freaking climb it. And so we're like, maybe it's pretty hard. Like, we'll see. But hopefully I can manage it tomorrow.
Right on.
But that's not like a project. I mean, I've been trying it for a week, or I've tried it a couple days now. But and then, I tried something in the canyons. There's like a new hard thing. Basically, there's always like some stuff. I always have a running list where it's like depending on the season, depending on who's available.
Yeah.
I'm doing a bunch of work travel the next couple of weeks, so I'm trying to intentionally not get too committed to any project, because the reality is I won't be able to go work on it.
Yeah.
So I'm mostly focused on like having good sessions in the gym and the various places for the next couple of weeks. It's fine.
What's the next trip that you're really excited about?
Actually, well, I don't even have like any big trips coming up. I think we're going to spend June in the PNW, actually.
Oh, nice.
I think in Mazama. Might climb a Washington Pass, which I'm kind of psyched about.
Cool.
Because my wife's best friend's getting married. So we're going to be there anyway. And so I might spend a couple weeks there and try to do some of the hard multi-pitches there.
Nice. So beautiful up there.
I'm pretty psyched about that because it's just like a new like a totally new area that I just haven't climbed in. So
You gonna
that's
try
cool.
Mikey and SJ's route on Liberty Bell?
Yeah, so actually their older route, which I think, did they maybe rebrand a Servant to Liberty, or
I'm not sure.
I think it was called a Slave to Liberty, and then they were like, oh, that's weird, so they
okay.
rebranded it. But I think that one, I think, is the only thing I have climbed on Liberty Bell, and that was like one they put up 5 years ago or something, and it was like 13B or something. And then I think they now have a newer, harder one, and yeah, I'd love to try it.
Dark Side of Liberty?
Yeah, Dark Side of Liberty.
Yeah,
because it's on the shadier face in the front or something. Yeah, no, there are a bunch of hard melt pitches up there. I'm psyched to, we'll see what partners we have. But yeah, but that's not like a trip, you know, it's just going to a wedding and trying some hard things while you're there.
Yeah.
And then there are a couple potential things happen in the summer, depending, but it might be a TV thing. It might be, it's like, we'll see how stuff shapes up and we'll see. But yeah, otherwise no big things. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, honestly, I do a lot more work now. And so my year is not.
And you have a child.
Yeah, and I have a child and a wife and,
things.
you know, family and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, other commitments and time constraints. But so I just don't have like a totally open calendar where it's like, and then maybe I'll go to Road AR for 6 weeks and try my project. It's like, no, it's way more like things have to fit on a calendar. And,
right.
you know, 10, 15 years ago, I was just living in the van by myself, and you're kind of like, oh, it got kind of warm, I'll just like go north for the next couple months. Like, no, like that those days are done. But you know, they might return in a few more years. But
yeah, do that with your family.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, we just spent 5 weeks in France bouldering in Font, which is amazing.
Yeah,
I'm sort of like, you know, if I can have 1 or 2 things like that a year, like that's great.
That's awesome.
You know? Yeah.
Was that just a fun trip? Like, did you have goals going into the trip, or just trying to like enjoy a new area and doing lots of climbing?
No, my main goal was to just not suck, which I was like, just try not to suck. But
what is something you wish people spent more time thinking about?
Oh, I don't know. Like in general?
Yeah, could be anything.
Maybe like environmental stuff. You know, it's like if you're going to choose one thing for everybody to think a little bit more about, it'd be like environmental impact and sort of like lifestyle choices. Like, do you need that thing? And like, will that thing actually give you joy? And like, is that the important thing in your life? You know? Yeah, or like when you order food and stuff, it's like, would you intentionally choose to kill that creature? You know, it's like, because there are a lot of things that are done just sort of by default. And, you know, more intention never hurt.
More intention never hurt. That's a nugget, right?
Yeah, it's a nugget right there.
That's really good.
Yeah.